Hi guys, it's Mike here from KO's Bushcraft and today we're out in the garage. It's where I normally film. Currently it's raining and you wouldn't be able to hear me speak. Today I thought I'd talk to you about gross vehicle mass. Now it's the subject that any four-wheel drive shop avoids like the plague, and most people bury their head in the sand. So all vehicles are designed to carry a certain load. Some vehicles can, obviously more agricultural vehicles can carry a greater load because they're designed primarily to carry loads, and the suspensions are set up to carry loads. Now my recent kayaking trip up in the northwest of WA, I was travelling with another vehicle almost identical to my Hilux, a Ford Ranger manufactured by Mazda, and he spent about $10,000 on modifying his vehicle, and it really looked a beast. It had the 4-inch lift and the huge 35-inch tyres and all this great stuff. Okay, but every time we hit rough terrain, it was me recovering him, and I actually expected it to be the other way around because the wheels were too tall for the gearing, so it couldn't pull, and he was carrying a lot of equipment, and this actually put it over its vehicle mass before he even stepped in the car. So I've written out some examples. Now the Toyota Land Cruiser 200 series is a beautiful wagon, a wagon that you can really soak up a lot of Ks. GMV, 3,350 kilos. It has a load capacity of 610 kilos, so not that much. My Hilux weighs in at 3 tons, has a payload of 925 kilos. A Toyota Prado, 2,990 kilos. Has a payload of 545 kilos. Toyota FJ Cruiser, 2,510 kilos, and has a payload of 510 kilos. Okay, so I'll go through the list of equipment that was fitted to my friend's car. He had a winch, so I'd say 50 kilos. I didn't obviously measure all the weights. These are just averages I picked up off eBay. A steel bull bar, 80 kilos. A rear wheel carrier and a second spare, I'm going to say 110 kilos. He had the slide out rear drawers, 90 kilos. A roof rack and some of the bits and bobs attached to that roof rack, I'm going to call it 80. Dual battery and fridge, 70 kilos. Because he did have about 110 amp battery, and I think he did actually have two. So that's actually conservative. A rooftop tent and an awning, we'll call it 75. So currently he's got nearly 200 kilos on the roof rack, which is well in excess of what it could handle. And later on I actually cracked one of the windows on the canopy. So the canopy I'm going to call 40. He had a long range fuel tank. I don't know how much fuel was in it at the time, but I'm going to say an extra 100 kilos. 2 adults, I'm conservative saying at 160 kilos. So there's 855 kilos before food, water and camping gear. So he's got 150 kilos left in his payload if he does have a 1,000, which I don't think they do. So compare this to what I know was in my car. I had gas for running my stoves, including all the bottles, 9 kilos. Kitchen box with all the cooking gear and eating gear, I call it 30 kilos. I was carrying my large kayak, which is 47 kilos. Including the paddle drive and all the bits and bobs. I could have carried my fin kayak, which would have halved that weight, more than halved it. I had food for 2 people for 10 days, 20 kilos. Water, I had 20 litres on board, so we'll call it 20 kilos. And another 10 kilo of drinks. I had all my fishing gear, which is about 20 kilos. I had my fridge, which weighs in at 30 kilos. And an esky, because my partner doesn't like fish bait in the food esky, so we'll call that 54 kilos. I had my glamping tent at 30 kilos, and the tent basket to carry it on the roof bars is 10 kilos. All my 12 volt stuff, including my solar panels and wiring, 15 kilos. A recovery bag, a Max Trax, 15 kilos. My long range toolbox and spares, 15 kilos. And I'll put down 30 kilos for clothing because obviously I'm not going to weigh all the bits and bobs for 2 people. So roughly 300 kilos. The modifications I've done to my car are pretty light. I've got a heavy duty rubber mat in the tray, a large storage plastic box, I've got 2 aluminium roof bars, a nudge bar and a second battery, an MPP charger, so really not that much, and I'm going to call that 100 kilos. So 400 kilos for me, plus 2 people, so we'll call it 560, and basically half of my payload. So why it's great to have a lot of modifications done to your four-wheel drive, you really do, if you want it to perform, need to be a bit conservative and picky on what you put on, and don't just get sold what someone else thinks that you might want to need. Anyway, hope this is some food for thought. Now, if anyone knows you're a payload, is it with a full tank or an empty tank? None of the car guys I've spoken to seem to know, so I'm guessing it's with an empty tank. So this vehicle holds 80 kilos and a litre of diesel weighs about 77 grams a litre. So it's something that needs to be factored into it as well. Anyway, I hope you found this interesting. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.